start off with Keith at Sky, please.
Frank, how do you feel after that tonight?
Performance okay. I thought it was a tightly contested game in general play. In our clinical nature in their box, were we as clinical enough as we should have been, considering how much we played and played through them and played through their lines and received it beyond their midfield? No, that's a reflection for us. But other than that, I thought against a good team it was a close match in general play, possession wise, and yeah, disappointed that we didn't have that more effect in the box, because I think at that point we can easily draw or win the game.
No shots on target throughout, but you did have Calvert Lewin back in the team. Do you think that will come in the weeks ahead once he kind of gets himself to push it through fitness? Yeah,
and it's not just on Dominic that. I thought Dominic looked okay, considering he hasn't played for a long time, and he'll be better and for the minutes in his legs. And of course he couldn't do 90 tonight. But as I say, I think that the no shots on target is a slight red herring. Although we have to deal with it, because when you play through midfield and you're making decisions on the last pass or the pass before the last pass, or do you take a shot, or these things, we got that bit wrong tonight. And then it's hard to win football matches, of course, but that is when you consider Dominic's back in now, what that gives us, and can we progress as a team in that area of the pitch? We lost Richarlison. We know we've got work to do in that area of the pitch, and we'll keep working to do that.
What do you think the difference was between the teams on the night?
Well, the goal. The goal's sloppy from our point, because it's a transitional goal where we allow space on the edge of the box, and then there's a quality finish. A goal, and maybe a decision that might have gone in our favour.
Why do you think it's like the team struggling to click in the final third? You mentioned with the lack of efforts on target, and maybe tonight playing through Newcastle but not playing that final pass. Why do you think that is? Is that a personnel thing? Or?
A bit. I think it's to be expected. If you look at our 11 games we've played now, the first 4 or so games we played without a number 9. That was the circumstances of the season that we came into. Then Neil came into the team, and straight away I thought we'd have more threat in games like Liverpool and against West Ham at home. And Southampton, we scored 2 goals, but it's a work in progress. We're in a different phase to where Newcastle are, for instance. Here, we're working on the style and the way we want to play and how we can get bodies up there. And you have to put the pieces together a little bit. It's a fresh team and new in certain ways. So, as I say, I can't complain about big parts of our game today. And when we all saw it, we all saw us playing balls behind midfield, getting the ball into Alex and into Damari and playing. And the last bit is sometimes things you have to just reflect on, show the players, and talk about decision making, because we got that bit wrong.
Are you confident you've got the players in the squad currently to improve in that area, or might it be a case, obviously a few things can come up in the window, might it be a case of going back into the window?
We may add to it, but we are confident in the players, and the players have all the right intentions and all the right idea, but that decision making part on the pitch, off the back of a really tense season where we looked different last year, we obviously lose Richarlison and we have to take stock, and you build through the team. We built from the back, we stopped conceding as many goals. Some of our build-up play was good today. There's no doubt that we looked good at times when we used Garner and Amadou, and we were comfortable on the ball and played through one of the best, most aggressive presses in the league probably in Newcastle. So we have to deal with that bit, and then you move up the pitch, and Dominic comes and plays his first game since the back end of last season, and can we get more goals from our wingers? These are all things that are in our hands to work on and get better at. Will we add to that? Possibly, but that's not my thought process at the minute. It's more how can we win games, because in our area of the league, not many teams plundering goals every week at huge levels. This Premier League tests you. It's not easy to get those sort of goals until you can work and get a real way of wanting to attack and wanting to play. So we're just in that process as far as I see it.
Is there a frustration with a couple of the decisions, particularly the ones before half-time, in the build-up to the goal, and maybe Anthony going down in the box?
Yeah, I don't know about Anthony going down the box. My fear with that is that everybody's looking at Anthony and rejecting any penalty straight away, because if it's a foul of a nudge in the back and a touch on the foot, then for me that's a penalty. But I think VAR's there to re-look. It's not this thing of clear and obvious is a grey area that we don't need. It's a penalty or it's not, and I felt it was a foul personally.
Alistair?
Yeah, I was going to say, so you felt it was a penalty, strong claim for a penalty?
Yeah.
Obviously, Anthony, after that, I think he got a booking for a scuffle with Kieran Trippier. He's just come back into the side after 5 bookings. I think you said that there was you'd had a word with him about the number of bookings. Were you disappointed he picked up another booking straight away?
No, I wasn't tonight. Some things, and I'm not saying I'll have a scuffle, but I think if you get people running over and calling you a diver when you've had a bit of contact, I understand human nature and the reaction to it. I'm not concerned with Andy tonight on that.
How would you rate his performance overall tonight?
I didn't mind Andy's performance at all. I think some of his play in the first half, the threat that he moved the ball quickly in tight areas when he was deeper down the pitch. Can he be more of a threat in an attacking sense? Yeah, for sure. But we've seen that from him before. I didn't mind Andy tonight. I liked his work ethic, and I thought it's a tough place to come and play. I was pleased with Andy tonight.
Joe?
Had 3 defeats in a row. I was just wondering, Everton into each game as the underdog, going to a period of 4 games now where fixture list gets slightly easier on paper. I was just kind of wondering what your lessons are from these 3 games and how much you think that might be a setback for the project, or actually you feel confident in the lessons you've learned from this game, even though they haven't borne out in results.
I'm confident. I think coming into these 3 games, we're all aware that we're underdogs in each game. Manchester United at home, Tottenham and Newcastle away, to both really strong teams at home. So not that you want, not that you expect, not that the things you don't want to lose these games, but it can happen in the Premier League. Most teams in our era will have phases like that once, twice, 3 times a season, and it's important in what you do around that. So like you say, this Premier League never gets easy, but when you think of the games we've got coming up and what we've gone through, I think we can be disappointed with small details and differences in the defeats that we've had. When you look at the mistakes we made against Manchester United in good possession, the chances we didn't take at Tottenham, and the goal that we can see today in transition, in terms of we dealt with a part of the transition and then we allowed too much space for Almiron in the box. And those details have to be sorted out if you're going to pick up results in those games, or maybe you are the underdog. So those are things that we have to tighten up on. But I see a good group of lads with a good spirit and understanding. They played some good stuff at different times tonight in the middle areas of the pitch, and they understand that we want to get better. So there's no way we should drop our heads. I don't want to see any sulking or a feeling of accepting criticism from within the group. This is the Premier League. 3 games have been tough. We just go again.
Frank used to come here as a player when Bobby Robson was manager, and obviously afterwards it was a really, really tough place to come and a really tough place to. Can you sense that sort of vibe again about the football club?
Yeah, I think it's a very strong squad. I know Eddie relatively well and his team, and I think they're working in a really good direction. And the club now is in a different phase or level to what it's been for many years. The recruitment they made last January, they made in the summer, has made them stronger. You can see there's a different belief around the stadium and on the pitch, and they've got a quite defined physical, athletic style, and give you a lot of problems. So yeah, I think fair play. They're working in a really good direction, and you just have to respect that. They're in a different phase, as I say, but they're going to give everyone a tough game when they come here for sure.
A candidate for worst question of the season. Why was Neil Mackay wearing the wrong coloured socks?
I didn't even clock that myself.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Someone rang me and
So,
said,
I apologise. I haven't got the answer for that.
No, all right.
Yeah.
I did you say, how carefully are you having to manage Dominic's fitness? I mean, would you describe him as being anything close to 100% of my every week? He's not training all the time.
Yeah, we're having to manage him, and hopefully we get to a phase where that's less so. But I think with the recurrence of certain injuries, I think it's only right that we manage him in a slightly different way. So we've restricted maybe some of his actual frontline finishing, which clearly for a number 9 is something you want to do through the week, but we have to prioritise his overall fitness. So that's something we've managed. But now we've seen him on the pitch, and I thought physically he looked good. Now can we get the last bit? And then it can hopefully start to look after itself. I was very happy to see him look so good athletically today, and we'll just keep a personal eye on it, personal touch to it as we move forward.
And just to clarify, is that kind of restricting what he's doing in kind of shooting drills and stuff like that? We're
just managing it, yeah, and it has done to this point, and that doesn't mean that that's a forever thing. But just with the couple of injuries he's had this season. The main injury, which was a slightly complicated one, and when you're a striker and you're trying to hit shots and sometimes you're getting a little feeling, it's normal that you have concerns about that. So we're managing it to this point. In an ideal world, that he comes through this game, he gets more robust and he feels confident. But yeah, we want to manage him because he's important to have him out there. That's where we really need him. So that's our job.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Cheers all.
His desk.